What it do? What it do? Is your boy Big Cal coming in with another live stream, TNP live stream. Just gonna talk about this topic that's going viral online. The fire that took place at the Nottoway plantation in Louisiana, historically one of the largest antebellum mansions or former slave plantations in America, turned tourist attraction, and apparently a fire broke out there and destroyed the plantation. Yes, sir. But we're gonna just go through some of these videos, go through some of these TikToks.
What? What? Hey, yo, hey, yo,
I'm gonna look up this.
Something paranormal is happening in this photo. If you don't know, this is the Nottoway plantation that is going up in flames, or went up in flames, because it is gone, it's charred. But the ancestors.
Southland Security. All right, 10-4. Get your job in, take a little break.
Was there while it was happening. As the flames were going up, the ancestors were there. And I want to show you how paranormal and freaky this photo is. It is not edited. I want to put a disclaimer out here. This is not edited. This is not tampered with. You can Google this image and you can zoom in for yourself. And I'm going to zoom in right here where the archways are, where the flames are happening, and show you that the ancestors was in attendance. Look at this. I can't make this up. Again, this is unedited. Do you see two figures in the archways? Like, I can't make that up. And so when I seen this, I was like, oh my gosh, there's spirits in that plantation. And it's like right there. Like, your eyes, yes, you can make all the excuses you want, but my eyes are not lying, and I hope you guys see what I see. I see a woman right here, and I see a man right there. Okay? It's circled. You can see as clear as day in those archways. I know there's people that's going to dispel it, and that's fine. There's always going to be people who are skeptical. But I see very clearly with my two eyes, I see two spirits. It might be two ancestors. I know it's two ancestors, and they wanted to be a witness.
Hit that like button, hit that like button, hit that like button. We're going to talk about it. We're going to break it down. We're going to break down the need for black trauma in America for black folks. We're going to break this thing down like a shotgun, baby. Talking about black forced oppression. We're going to talk about black victimhood mentality today. We're talking about the victimhood mentality that runs rampant in the black community. That's what we're going to talk about today.
To the
Hit that like button. And like I said, I'm going to play a couple videos of content creators across different platforms talking about the situation in Louisiana with the Nottoway plantation, Nottoway plantation. And, excuse me, my bad. My bad, situated.
Of this place going down, okay? This is a cursed plantation. All plantations are cursed, but they wanted to witness this going down, okay? So tell me what you guys think. But yeah, the ancestors were there singing.
what the hell he out there? What the hell he on? What the hell he buried? What the hell he buried? Somebody take you broke.
I've been walking with my Her face turned to the sun. Wait. Can we talk about Nottoway plantation real quick? Listen, I'm white. That's obvious here. But I am not $50,000 wedding at a plantation that's I know y'all seen this. It's been all over my For You page. The Nottoway plantation out in Louisiana, it has burned to the ground. On this page that I'm looking at, it's described as a fairy tale, surrounded by mature live oaks, magnolia, and pecan trees. It takes you back in time. They also describe it as truly a bucket list experience. The full name is the Nottoway Plantation Resort. It sits on property 31 acres large, has 40 rooms, including 5 suites. The property has a restaurant and bar, lounge and fitness center, tennis courts, outdoor pool and cabana. And of course, the property is perfect.
You see this? What's going on, everybody? This is Shabazz.
So niggas escaping out of Louisiana prisons.
All right, what's going on now? What's happening? It is up. It is up. It is up. Round of applause for you.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna use Tariq Nasheed because I know he's gonna sit here and rant and rave. So we're gonna just watch this content a little bit. And just the black victimhood, the mindset, man. Just the we're gonna break this thing down psychologically. That's my biggest thing, man. Psychologically, black folks have a need to be oppressed due to the years and years, previous years, historical, situations that occurred in America. Oppression, things of this nature, slavery, chattel slavery, transatlantic slave trade, whatever you want to call it. Black folks, unfortunately, we feel the need now to be oppressed. We feel the need to allow things like this to bother us, to hype us up. You know what I'm saying? Basically, I feel like headlines like this are only meant to cause more division, in my opinion. Headlines like this is meant to cause division, uproar, black anger. It's meant to frustrate us, anger us, just give us a reason to once again feel oppressed, in my opinion, to feel as if this building, the symbolism of this building holds some type of significant weight to us now as a people, as black people in America. It's ridiculous. It's upright ridiculous. The way in which black folks acted over the symbolism of this building burning down is really disheartening to someone like myself. An intelligent black man, a conscious black man, a person who thinks like us as a people, why do we let symbolism affect us to the degree in which it does today? That's one of my biggest questions for black folks is I had celebrating and talking about ancestors burning all this. Maybe that is true, and that's no knock to that, but the celebration behind it, I feel is unwarranted. As a black person, I'm 36 years old, and I've never experienced slavery. I've never experienced Jim Crow laws. I've never experienced, aggressive levels of systemic racism. I've experienced certain things where I feel like, police, over policing in black communities, stuff like that. Of course, what do they call it? stereotyping, racial profiling, things like that. I've witnessed things like that in my lifetime when I was younger, especially in the black community, riding around in black communities where it's crime riddled. So I get it. I get the I get the history of it. Of the systemic racism in America. But one of the things that just bothers me as a black man, a conscious woke black man in America, the person that's a free thinker, is the fact that things like this still trigger us. Symbolism still triggers black folks in America, even though, like I said, it's been years since we've been enslaved. It's been years since we even having to deal with any type of situation like this. As far as enslavement, we've been free for a very long time at this point in America, well over 100 years. So, and I get it. Like I said, I get it, but the fact that people still have a knee-jerk reaction that's still emotional. But my thing is this: I'm 36 years old and I've never experienced it. So I see younger creators, content creators, people probably 26 or younger. It just feels like it's ingrained in our DNA, in our culture, to feel some type of victimhood mentality when it comes to symbolism. Statues, plantation resorts like this. Whatever this plantation was called. And to me, it's just it's sad. It's sad. It's sad, and it's disheartening to see that black folks are so still triggered by the past. The past is something that does not affect you on your day to day. On your day to day, when you wake up, go put on your shoes, go to work, do what you got to do on a daily basis. Nobody is out here. I mean, I hope you're not thinking about the oppression of slavery back in 1800s, 1700s, whatever. Like, to me, it's a cop out, man. Like, it's a cop out for real, for real. For people just to feel oppressed again, for people to get emotionally in some type of uproar or again, for no reason, for little to no reason. And there's no reason why somebody should be still emotional over a plantation burning down. Like, who the fuck cares? That's just my, excuse my French, but who cares? Like, I understand that the media is gonna push stories like this because they know it's divisive. They know that it's gonna channel the inner victimhood mentality of black folks, and they know it's another reason to be divisive, racially divisive, because they know black folks are gonna run with this narrative, the ancestors, payback, all these mindset, which, like, what I'm saying, which is, to me, is asinine. What I'm saying, like, get over yourself, get over this shit. What I'm saying? How can we expect to live in a post-racial society? How can we expect to really be behind our get slavery, racism, system, all this stuff behind us as a society if we're so emotionally hurt by the past? Like, me personally, I can't comprehend it. I'm not hurt by the past. I'm not sitting here worried about pictures of Civil War, Confederate Army soldiers and generals and all this. I don't like. To me, that's just another distraction for folks. Like, another reason to get you emotionally charged up to hate a whole race of people that they're not thinking about you, and it does not matter. Like, it's one thing, okay, be happy about it, but to be the celebration. If you look at my thumbnail, people, black women over there taking pictures, smiling, happy, whatever. I celebrate how you choose to celebrate, but the fact that it still holds that much emotional weight on you, and trauma to you, when you did not yourself go through any of this type of oppression, you were not enslaved. None of your people were enslaved, as far as, like, in the last about 100 plus years, you don't know anyone that's been enslaved. You know what I'm saying? In your timeline, it doesn't affect us on the day to day. That's my biggest thing. So let's just watch a little bit of this Tariq Nasheed, known race baiter at times, but some of his content, I'm gonna use it, just for creative purposes. I'm gonna go ahead and play some of this, man. But I know just the fact that people rally behind something like this imagery and symbolism affects us to a degree that I just can't understand, honestly. Like, to be honest with you, Tariq Nasheed's in his 50s. He didn't experience anything like this. You know what I'm saying? It's just funny how black folks get so charged up over symbolism. Nothing else, though. We don't rally behind anything. We're not spearheading any type of initiatives within the black community for ourselves. But this stuff like this catches our attention and get the eyes. So let's play some of this.
Ready to get into that tap in. Glad to have everybody in here, man. What's going on, family? Hope everybody is good. Hope you guys are having a good week, and you're going to have a good weekend, ladies and gentlemen. Let me have everybody give me a retweet. That would be great. If you can give me a retweet, that would be absolutely phenomenal. And before we do anything, I got to do a couple of things. Number one, I got to shout you guys out. Let me shout out some of those regulars. I got to do that. We got the lovely Carmen. I see Zuri. We have Peace and Peace. King Troy, Isada, JMT.
Get to it.
It then. I kind of joked about him praying.
Get to it.
That's basically the Majara bag, and they had the Mojo bag, and they couldn't turn you into a vampire if you had the Mojo bag. So our foundational Black American energy is a cleansing energy. We're gonna get into that today. We're gonna get into that. But let me do the Majara prayer real quick because I need to cleanse. We on a real good breakdown interview on YouTube. That'll be this week. Well, today is it? No, I don't think it's out in the French quarters. I think, but it's still about 7-8 of them on the loose. And at the same time, what happened today also, or yesterday, or whenever you're listening, about an hour outside of New Orleans, there was a large plantation that mysteriously caught on fire and burned down. But Nottoway Plantation. That's the largest remaining antebellum plantation, I think, in the country. And it was destroyed by a mysterious fire. Nobody knows how that fire got popping. Have y'all know, I talked about this before, in places like South Carolina and other places, these former slave plantations, they mysteriously catch on fire. I know it was one situation out there in South Carolina where lightning struck a tree and the tree caught on fire, and then the plantation caught on fire. This was a few years ago. That ain't nothing but ancestral energy. And look, in New Orleans, there's a lot of energy in New Orleans, I'm telling you, and I've been feeling that energy. That's why.
See, me personally, I don't doubt the fact that our ancestors, their spirits may still be floating around here, may still be out here. I don't, as a man, we don't know anything as far as human beings. We don't know what's on the other side of the spiritual journey that we're living in. It's unfortunate that a lot of our ancestors had to go through the subjugation that they had to go through, and during that time on this planet. It's definitely, sad and, just it's unfortunate that they had their time on this planet. They had to be property, consider property in the eyes of the states and state of America. So, yeah, man, that's facts. I mean, who knows what's on the other side of the spiritual journey that we're walking in? That's just facts. But my biggest thing is the collective celebration over the destruction of this symbol. Because that's all it is. It's all these things are just symbols in this symbolism of a time that is past and gone. We're the ones who drudge up these painful memories continuously. We're the ones who say we hate all these black slave movies that Hollywood people put out, but we continue to frequent them. We continue to watch them. We continue to be obsessed with that past and that era of life for black people in America. Is, to me, that's sickening. That black folks are so concerned. This should have been a non-issue to me, as far as, get it out your system, whatever you celebrating. But like, to me, I don't have that hurt in my system to where I need to celebrate over the destruction of a symbol of the past. I don't, like, it's over almost 200 years ago. I don't give a fuck, and I would implore black people to try to do the self work mentally, to where you're not obsessed or so emotionally attached to symbols of the past that don't hold no weight to your life. That if you allow that to bring you down, something is wrong with you, and internally, mentally. That's just my straight up opinion. If a symbol of the past can cause you trauma today, when you were never oppressed, you were never enslaved, you never went through the Middle Passage, you never, were property and whipped and beat and beaten based on your race, and none of these things of the human rights violations that took place against people of color, you didn't go through personally. Like, I know everybody wants to say that the trauma is passed down, which it may well be. I'm not privy to know that. I'm not a doctor. I really don't can't say either way. I know personally I don't consider the trauma of the past put on me. I'm a real black man that's a believer of God, and for one, I'm a man. Like, I'm a real man. I don't look to be a victim everywhere I step. I don't look for racism and slights everywhere I go. I feel like that's not even living as a person. Personally, like, that's living. That's not living. When if you're looking for slights, if everything you're looking to be offended by every little thing, if you're looking at the past as if it's a symbols of the past as if that's currently oppressing you today, I feel like you're just a big victim. You just have a victim mentality, honestly, and you're looking to be a victim. You're looking to for someone to feel sorry for you. You're looking to for empathy in a situation where I feel like we don't need none. Who like symbolism shouldn't matter to us. We should not be in a situation where we're that butthurt about nothing. Literally nothing.
I've been going down there a lot. Yeah, New Orleans has been talking to me. The ancestors in New Orleans, they have been talking to me heavy. That's why I've been down there. Y'all seen I've been on my New Orleans kick for a minute. The ancestors are really, really speaking out in Louisiana in general. And there's a reason for that. Because there's a shift going on. There's a spiritual shift that's happening. The ancestors want justice. We are honoring those ancestors, and those ancestors are honoring us. It's very important for us to acknowledge them ancestors, ladies and gentlemen.
Is our justice not the fact that we're free as people? Is that not justice enough that they're the offspring of our ancestors are thriving in America? We're free. We're working, we're able to work jobs that were at one point considered, I guess, are not applicable for black people of color. We're able to, ascend. We're able to do all types of things in America. Is that not retribution? Is that not revenge? Is that not a get back of some type of sort? Is that not something to be hang your hat on and be proud of? Well, how does a burning of a building that's a symbol of past oppression, how does that help us on our day to day? How does that affect us on our daily? That's my biggest thing I want black folks to understand, so we're not so in uproar and over emotional things and so triggered over things of the past. So that's what's one of my biggest things that I just dislike about black culture. Like, just straight up. Like, we have this anger toward white people that I feel like is unwarranted. Just to be 100% honest, like, if we're out here living our free, blessed, righteous, peaceful life, in our pursuit of happiness, we don't have time to be sitting around hateful toward a race of people. Fuck them. Like, in all love, in all fairness, because I say fuck everybody. Excuse my French. But that's my biggest opinion. That's my biggest thing. Why are we in such an uproar over how people's opinion of us? Why do we give these people so much power over our lives? Power control that at one point they control everything in your life, but now they control us mentally. We're mentally enslaved at this point. At one point we were physically and mentally enslaved, but at this point we are mentally enslaved to feel like we're still in this situation of the antebellum South. In a lot of ways, mentally we want to be or want to think that we're in the same position of victimhood, as if things like this are traumatizing us. Buildings, statues, whatever, history of America, these things are traumatic to us now. And I feel like I'm calling cap on it. I'm calling Colin Kaepernick on the ways that a lot of people think about America today. Like, straight up, black folks, what pleasure do you get out of white pain? That's just me. Like, I don't get any pleasure out of seeing pain from anyone. I don't get any pleasure out of spoiling someone else's day. I don't get any pleasure out of trying to be a thorn in somebody's side. I don't get the pleasure and the satisfaction we get from trying to get back at white people. Your biggest get back is to work together to build up your community. Like that's my biggest thing I would want to understand from folks. They don't understand they're showing their trauma, they're showing their hurt. When you do things like this, you're showing you're still traumatized by the past. You're showing you still hurt by things of the past that don't affect you, that didn't affect you your whole lives for the majority. Unless you're in your late and you're in the 90s and 80s and 70s, you don't even know about segregation. You don't know about Jim Crow. You don't know about, a lot of things like Reconstruction era. Like you don't know shit. Like you didn't personally experience shit. But the people that are the youngest folks are out here claiming trauma, claiming to be angry at white folks for slavery, and just got all this hate and animosity built up in their hearts for no apparent reason, in my opinion, other than trying to get back. Like I said, you're just showing your hurt. That's all you're doing when you celebrate and kumbaya when Austin Metcalf is stabbed, when you kumbaya when the guy I forgot the guy's name, killed the cop. I can't think of his name right now. Something Junior. When this guy kills a random cop because his son was gunned down for having a gun on him and running around with a gun in his hand and jumping out of stolen vehicles. When we kumbaya and praise dance and jump around when a damn bullshit ass plantation building burns to the ground, you just showing that these people still got control over you mentally. That's the biggest thing that I don't think black people understand that, and that's really sad to me because you're not conscious enough. You're not woke. You need to go ahead and subscribe to TNP. Hit that like button. Hit that like button and subscribe to TNP right now, man. Hit that like button. I see you jumping off because I'm hurting folks' feelings. Tune in with me. Stick with me. I'm trying to guide you mentally, man. Just hold tight. You know what I'm saying? I get it. I'm tap dancing on a lot of people's insecurities. A lot of their cognitive dissonance is being messed with by me, and that's my plan. That's my plan, man, because I want you to live a free life righteously, spiritually. I don't want you to have all this built up animosity in your heart toward a race of people that, frankly, don't give a damn about you. They're too busy trying to live their lives on this short lives that we got on this planet. So I'm just trying to, let this resonate with folks that when you are in uproar for whenever white pain or white problems come up and you're jumping for joy, you're only showing your own hurt. That's just it. You're only showing your own hurt. You're only showing how much these people control your thoughts, control your emotions, control your mood, control your thoughts. They sit there living rent free in your head. Like me personally, I just want to call it out because I'm like, man, you're not living a free life when you're sitting around hoping for pain and suffrage or get back for a whole race of people. You're not getting toward nothing. That's a big distraction. Like, and they know that when you sit around trying to get back at a race of people that, unfortunately, this is their nation. This is a European nation. You know what I'm saying? This is a nation that they took over, colonized, and controlled. When you sit and they've given us we're in a situation where we fought for and won rights and civil rights and things and human rights where we have a great ability to go pursue whatever we want to do in life. We have a right to pursue happiness. We can do anything. There's nothing that's off the table that we have not been able to accomplish since slavery has been abolished. So to sit around and, like I said, kumbaya over white pain only shows that you're a loser. Honestly, like that's honestly what it shows. It shows you're a loser who sits around and gains pleasure off of the pain of others. And just because they do it doesn't mean we should do it. That's fact. Just because they may gain pleasure off seeing black folks being degenerate, black on black crime, fighting one another, shooting one another, cutting one another, living in impoverished communities, going to deplorable school systems with a bad education system for us or a level of education for our people. Just because they might get pleasure off of that, how does that progress us off of getting pleasure off of them going through shit? How does that affect us? How does that progress us as a people jumping for joy when we see white pain? That's all I want to know. How does that help you? How does that help us as a people, as black people, when we're excited to see I guess retribution, as you would call it, revenge. Like what does that benefit you? How does that fix your bottom dollar and your bottom line? How does that help you? How does that help your life on a day-to-day? Being a victim off every little thing. How does this plantation burning down affect your life personally? How did that help you? Do you gain some type of confidence or rally behind, or some type of racial pride by seeing symbols tear down, statues and things of the past tear down? Does that give you some type of racial uh, uh, solidarity or togetherness, or I don't know, like, is it a rallying cry? I personally don't get it because I'm not that hurt by things of the past. I'm more focused on the future. I'm more focused on the current and the present than I would ever give a fuck about the past. The past is gone. And black folks are sitting around acting like the past is still hurting them today. And I feel like that is one of the biggest problems as to why we're not progressing in the way in which we should be able to progress, and why we're sitting stagnant in a lot of areas, because we're sitting around blaming white folks for every problem as opposed to putting in the work, working together, doing the things that we have to do on the grassroots level to advance ourselves as a people. Point blank, period. So we can point the finger and we can kumbaya over this house burning down, but somebody gonna get paid off of it, and life goes on. Like, it doesn't affect anything. It doesn't change laws. It doesn't help with black folks not what being 1% of the nation's wealth or whatever it is. Like, it doesn't help us gain land ownership. It doesn't help us gain reparations or anything. It does nothing for us. Absolutely nothing for us, but to be a symbol for, like, just to feel like a victim. To feel like, to feel like you getting some type of get back. And me personally, I don't want this type of get back. My get back got to be with my dollar bills. My get back got to be with my family togetherness, my community togetherness and unity. These are the things that I feel like is get back. If you're gonna get back, get real get back. You know what I'm saying? My get back is living a peaceful, joyous, happy, Christ-filled life, and not having to deal with them people, and not having to be oppressed by them people, which is not going on. They're not fucking with you. Like, in most places in this country, you're not being oppressed. You know what I'm saying? Unless you probably live in one of these big cities where cops is probably rampant in some of these cities, but probably not even at the same time. With COVID and everything, they fell back tremendously. In a lot of these big cities, the law enforcement presence is damn near non-existent. So like I said, I just don't get it. I honestly just don't get it. Like, I just do not get. I don't get people jumping for joy. That's just me. I don't get it. And I honestly do not want to. Because I'll never be the type to jump for joy for white pain. I'm like, that's some type of get back for me. Like, shit like this symbolism, shit, statues getting torn down, plantations catching a fire by the ancestors, as we say. Uh, Situations like Austin Metcalf and Carmelo Anthony, where the black boy is the victor in this situation. Like, that doesn't give me any type of racial solidarity. That doesn't give me no type of racial pride. That doesn't give me that doesn't do nothing for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, I feel like degenerate shit like that and violence doesn't lead to anything in this civilized society we're living in now. What does it matter? You know what I'm saying? Like, we need to be focused on ourselves inwardly. Everything we need to do as black community needs to be inwardly. We need to be focused inwardly on what we can do as a people to better ourselves, not sitting here comparing ourselves to whiteness, talking about the past, celebrating racially divisive situations that transpire in America, sitting around here being divisive, just like the government wants us to be, and the media wants us to be, the propaganda tools want us to be. They main ones pushing out all the agendas and all the racially divisive stories and headlines. Like, if you see the banana in the tailpipe, man, you gotta be able to call it out. That's what all I do. Like, I see the fixes in. I see what's going on. I see what's transpiring. I see that they're playing on a lot of folks' emotions because they know that they're not mentally tough. They know their emotional intelligence is rather weak. They've probably been raised in a bunch of single mama ass households where everybody's a victim, and you know what I'm saying. And their moms are teaching you to live through victimhood. So yeah, man. It's like, personally, I just don't agree with it. That's just me. I just don't. I can't get on board with fuck shit. I mean, just to be honest, I cannot get on board with this fuck shit, man. It's like, if we had the same energy toward progressing ourselves as a people that we do toward wanting to cause pain or trying to, that's all we're trying to do. We're trying to lash out at the white race in America. If we focus inwardly and focus more on what we can do as a people to better our families, our communities, grow ourselves financially, grow ourselves economically, grow ourselves agriculturally. We need food if we want to be independent. If you want to not be, you know what I'm saying? It's funny how we want to talk all this bullshit nonsense, but we're not independent in no type of way. We love to trash the white people. We love to want to have some type of get back or some type of racial divide or racial powder keg or fight amongst, subconsciously or subvertly against white folks and against white society. But we are literally integrated into white society in every way. So it makes no sense to me where you claim all this blackness, you claim to hate white folks, but you're living in a racial mix. Like you're literally living in a European caste system or society. Like that's period. And then if you don't believe that, you're lying to yourself. Black folks in America, Hispanics in America, like you're literally living underneath that system. Their laws, their rules. This is not a black ran law enforcement system or system of justice. This is their shit. Like you look at Lady Justice, all this shit is European ran. The balance, the weight balance, all the symbolism, the blind lady, bruh, all of that is wrapped up in European. It's a European system. So I don't get it. I just don't get it. Like you better yourself by doing better for yourself. Not sitting around hoping white people give you some type of handout. Not sitting around hoping white people die. Not sitting around praying and hoping on white death and white destruction and hoping that motherfuckers, uh, you know what I'm saying, meet their, what's the word? Not meet their maker, but meet their, the ancestors and get some type of revenge, spiritual revenge. Like, come on, dude. Like you get your get back by being a positive citizen and a believer in the Most High. That's how you get your get back. Stay out them people's face. Stop thinking about those people because they're not thinking about you. Stop celebrating and uh, colluding and being down with the racial division that's being pushed through the social media and the propaganda tools out here. Stop going along to get along with that shit. Stop jumping on board with that crazy rhetoric that's being pushed. Because in my opinion, what does it do for us? Like, are you such a loser that you can only win, or your only wins come in situations like this, where a plantation burns down, that's where you feel pride about being black? Like, are you that much of a loser? That's why I'm going to ask black folks where you're still disturbed, or you still got to be a victim of the past. Are you that much of a loser where stuff like this is where you get some type of racial pride? Like, man, is this your only win? Like that's the question I had to ask folks. Like, is this, and this ain't even a win, but is this how you feel like is a win for you? Because I don't get it. Like as a black man in America, this ain't a win. I don't care about a plantation burning down. I don't care about fucking certain situations. Like, I don't support bullshit. You know what I'm saying? This is bullshit. Like, let's celebrate for black school being opening. Let's celebrate for black grocery stores being open, black hospitals being opened up. Let's celebrate for black businesses beginning, and black CEOs and corporations where we support our own. Let's celebrate for that. Let's kumbaya and talk about the ancestors. Look at the ancestors opening up doors for us for that. Let's, like, that's my biggest thing. Let's be excited for black progress, because this isn't black progress. Like, tearing down statues is not black progress. A plantation burning down is not black progress. Austin Metcalf being stabbed by Carmelo Anthony is not black progress. Uh, I'm just saying, like, I can keep going on and on. What's the other situation? The guy running over the cop, the random cop, I can't remember his name. Anyway, whatever his name, Rodney something Jr., Rodney Hampton him Jr., whatever the fuck. Him randomly killing a cop with his car is not a win for black folks. So I just want that to be understood, overstood, and to be placed into your brain, into your thought process, that these symbolistic wins and these, what I'm saying, this racial division is not a win for black culture. It's not. It's not like, and if it is, if you feel like this is a win for black culture, it's just only showing how much of a loser you are. It's only showing how emotionally hurt and disturbed you are, how much power these people still have over us after all these years of being free. We are still, um, just controlled by racial ideology and idolatry. Just the ideology of racism in America is still strong and has a stronghold over a lot of black folks still to this day. Even though you didn't go through oppression, even though you didn't go through racism, even though you weren't enslaved and enchained, even though you didn't go through, you don't even a lot of us don't even know what it feels like to be racially oppressed. Like, everything's racist nowadays because you don't go through real racism. So if somebody dislikes what you say, if somebody of a different race is adversarial against what you say, they're racist. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's how you know you're living in a free country, because you can call folks racist with impunity. You can disrespect other people of other races. Like, this is literally freedom. You know what I'm saying? Like, we are free to have firearms. We're free to live and integrate into whatever society that we can afford to live into, whatever neighborhood we can afford to live into. We're free. It's an open enterprise. We can start businesses. We can do whatever we want to do, but we want to be obsessed with race still. Like, the biggest way to end racism is to live your life, is to not be affected by it, is to not hold on and harbor anger from the past or past systemic racism and shit like that in America. That is how you win. You win by having a free, clear mind where you're not controlled by race, where you're not sitting around worried about what somebody else thinking about you racially, where it's not having where your emotions aren't attached to how another race feels about you, or how you know what I'm saying, or how your emotions aren't attached to the past, and how you can try to, like I said, get some type of get back for something that you didn't go through. Like, that's when you know you're healed, when you really don't care. Like, when shit like this goes on and you be like, okay, like, you know what I'm saying? And that's, yeah, I'm neither happy nor sad. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not excited about this. I'm excited about putting in the work for my family. That's what I'm excited about. I didn't even know about this plantation until it burned the fuck down. Like, it doesn't affect me on my day to day. It doesn't affect you on your day to day. It is it's a non-issue. Period. Now, if you want to celebrate, I'm all down for it. Ain't nothing wrong with it. If you want to celebrate, do you. But I'm just saying, make sure you know the psychology behind why you are celebrating, why you feel the need to celebrate. Why do you feel this feeling of these emotions of excitement and happiness when shit like this transpires, when Austin Metcalf gets stabbed and killed? Like, why? You know what I'm saying? You got to really think bigger. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying the other races are innocent. I'm not saying they're above any type of wrongdoings. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying you got to understand where this racial idolatry comes from. You know what I'm saying? Like, where this victim mentality comes from. If not, you're going to continue the process. You're going to continue to perpetuate this mindset continuously.
It's very important to energize their spirit. We energize their spirit by giving acknowledgement to it, because that's paying honor to it. There's the spiritual realm. They want you, if you pay homage to it, that energy will still be alive. If you neglect it, that energy will dissipate. So it's very important that we honor that energy. Energy, good or bad, you have to feed it. The white supremacists understand that. They feed their evil demonic energy all the time. They're always feeding their evil energy. All of their degenerate forefathers and ancestors, they're always propping them up and praising them. You go around the country, there's statues of their degenerate white supremacist Confederate forefathers. They keep that demonic energy up. That's why
this is a victim mentality right here. That's why I wanted to play Tariq Nasheed's situation in his video. This is a straight up victim mentality right here. To try to act like symbolism gives white supremacy power in America is intellectually dishonest, and it's fucking retarded. It's stupid. Like, to be honest, to try to get these, like, people like him, they know what they're doing. They know how to manipulate black folks' emotions. Just like, this story, these propaganda stories, they know how to manipulate black folks' emotion, which is an easy thing to do in America. It's like taking candy from a baby. You know, you talk about racism, talk about stuff like that, and you already got folks sensitive and up in arms, even though they did not themselves go through any of it. Any of it. They up in arms about shit that they didn't affect them one bit. Other than the situation we in, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't really affect it doesn't affect you on a day to day. Does not.
So much chaos. They keep that energy up. We have to keep the energy of our righteous ancestors up. Because those ancestors, that energy, they will get the vengeance they need to get. And places like South Carolina, places like Louisiana.
Is vengeance not the Lord? Does the Lord not make things right? Are we still in the situation that we were in hundreds of years ago when we were enslaved? Has things not progressed? See, the need for revenge is deep in the black community. It is strong. The need for revenge against white bodies and white souls is strong for the black community. And I feel like if you believe in God, even though we're God people, if you believe in God, you know you're not going to get blessed by having a dark, dirty, evil heart. You're not. Like if your heart is filled with hate, if your heart is filled with discontent, hatred, negativity, anger, animus, you're not gonna live the righteous life you want to live. Like I don't feel like God wants you to live this way. Like you know what I'm saying? Just like white people, I don't think He wanted them to live with degradizing and oppressing black folks. So, you know, God moved the hearts of man, and He made us put the work in as black folks to meet Him halfway. What we said, we ran away, we fought back, we changed the ways of America, point blank, period. Whether it was through whatever, fighting, war, good black folk, good white folks, good black folks, whatever you want to call them, abolitionists. We changed the tides in America and it's over with. You know what I'm saying? That's behind us. So the mindset of ancestors getting revenge, or us wanting to use our ancestors' energy to get revenge is already, to me, that's a misstep already in itself. Why are we hell bent on revenge against anyone? What does that gain us? You are a sick culture of people when you can, you know what I'm saying? Do we want to be like them? That's really how it seems and how it looks. Do we want to be like how they were in the past? Do we want to enslave them and oppress them? Do we want that to be, you know what I'm saying? Like what will satisfy us as a people? What will be the revenge? It's not freedom revenge, it's not being able to work and do what you want and have a pursuit of happiness. Is that not get back? Is that not God and the ancestors equaling in changing the tides in our favor? I don't like I said, Teresa shit, he know what he's doing. He's a great race baiter. He's great at stirring up emotions amongst blacks. He does that with ease.
Louisiana. The ancestral energy is very heavy there for a few reasons. Number one, the slavery was very brutal in those areas. Number two, there are a lot of trees and water out there. There's swamps and water. Whenever there's water, there's going to be a lot of strong ancestral energy. You mix up plantation, slavery, water, you're going to get some of that ancestral energy that's very powerful. That's why what we saw down there in Montgomery, Alabama, the fade in the water, that area where that ferry boat was, that was an area where they would bring in our enslaved ancestors. So our ancestral energy is all in that water over there. So when them white supremacists popped off, them brothers start popping up out the water, whooping down on them. That was ancestral energy. But look at Louisiana. Louisiana, and that's why that's one of my favorite cities.
I'm just gonna be honest, man. You know you're in a losing situation when situations like this you gain pride off of. You know you're a hurt bunch of people, a hurt group of people, still mentally enslaved, when you can gain some type of rally behind this emotionally. Like when you're really truly excited about symbolism and symbols being taken down. When that is what you feel like is winning, when you feel like winning is taking down Confederate statues, when you feel like winning is for us now, I'm talking about for us right now, when you feel like winning is taking down historic symbols of oppression, when you feel like that is a win, like when you feel like that a house, a statue, history, people that actually existed, they existed and lived. When you feel like that is the reason that you're oppressed, you are in a losing battle and you are a hurt group of people. When just that alone can trigger you, when just that alone is can give you can raise you up highs of high, when shit burns down and all this stuff, when that raises you and makes you feel like, oh man, I feel good about myself now because this happened. You know you are a hurt bunch of people. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. You are literally showing that you are a hurt bunch of people. See me, I'm not hurt. Like that, I'm just trying to show people how to live a life where you're not controlled by racial idolatry. I'm not hurt by that shit. Like I'm not hurt. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, I'm sad that my ancestors had to go through what they had to go through, but I'm not hurt by symbols of the past. I don't give a shit. You know what I'm saying? Symbols. You know how, like I said, my get back is being free, a free black man that's out here. I can do what I want. You know, as long as I'm not breaking the law, as long as I'm not hurting no one, and on my pursuit of happiness, I can do what the hell I want. I can mind my business. Stuff like this don't bother me. When you really living right and when you really living righteous and forthright, you don't want to see other people hurt to gain happiness. Like that ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like only hurt people hurt people. When you hurt, you want, you know, when you're still hurt by the past, when you're still hurt by symbols of racism, when you still hurt, when you still feel like you're so oppressed by systemic white supremacy to this day, and you're still hurting by that, you want them to be hurt. See, I want you to get that hurt out your heart. Let me say that again. I want black culture to get that hurt at your heart, man, because you cannot live a righteous life with a blackened, evil, nasty heart, just like your oppressors, your quote unquote oppressors, because you live in a life, I mean, let's be real, you're not oppressed. Like, you're not fucking oppressed. Like, you want to claim that the dude that got shot, Rodney Hampton, whatever, you want to say his son was oppressed because he got shot. His son was doing wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro. Like, let's stop being intellectually dishonest with ourselves. Let's try to have a real conversation out here. But when you allow things like this to rally behind you, you're only showing how hurt you are by the past. Me, the past can't control me. I'm focused on the future. I'm focused on the present and the future. I can't focus on the past because that benefit me. You know what I'm saying? Old plantation burning down does not benefit me one bit. I don't gain shit from that. I'm not happy. I'm not sad. I don't give a fuck. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? Austin Metcalf stabbing a dude that's violent just because he was on the right side of violence. That does not do nothing to me. I don't want to see people dying. You know what I'm saying? I want to see people losing their lives over ignorance. Like, that doesn't do nothing for me. That's not something that I can rally behind and you know be all happy for. Like, and the guy, like the dude running over the cop, that ain't something I'm excited or happy for. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have that much hate in my heart for anything or anybody because I live through God. And I know I'm the captain of my fate and the master of my soul. I know God runs this universe. I know that I believe in God and I have a strong relationship with the Most High. And I don't need to be, I don't need that. I don't need the, as he said, the Majara energy to get revenge from me. That don't do nothing for me. My revenge is already taking place. Where I'm living it. I'm living it. I'm literally living it. I can drive cars whenever I want to. I can work however much I want to. I can raise my kids free of oppression however I want to. I can do what I want. If somebody does something, we can literally sue them. You know what I'm saying? If somebody infringes on your civil rights at a job or anything like that, and you feel like they're racially discriminated against you, you can sue them civilly. Like, I'm not upset with the way of the world. I'm not upset with the way of America. I'm not. It's progress. In my lifetime, I've seen progress. So,
I love that rebellious, fighting, relentless spirit down there. It's still there. That spirit of resistance is very heavy there. Now, I'm always drawn to that. And that the spirit of the Maroons never died out there. See,
still talking about the past. The Maroons are something of the past. That's something of the past, man. The Maroons, look them up. The Maroons, heard about that in Black Panther. But I'm just saying, in general, I don't need it. And I hope you get to a point in your life where your heart is so free and so open where you don't need to get revenge. You know what I'm saying? Where you're not living a life where you're looking for hurt in white people. You know what I'm saying? Like, we wake up every day and you want white people to feel some type of hurt that you feel. and the oppression that you feel that you didn't even experience. You know what I'm saying? When you want get back for your ancestors is already gone. It's already already living a better life than we are because they're done with this world. They're done with the idiots of this world. They're done with dealing with the violence and the hatred of this world. They're done. They're living with God. They're on to another plane. So it's just like when you get to a point where you don't got to live with that hatred in your heart, then you're really living a blessed life. Trust me. Trust me, man.
Louisiana, they got a long history of escaped people forming hidden communities in those swamps and in those bayous. See, these people, they waged guerrilla warfare against these slave owners. And that plantation burning today, and at the same time, these brothers getting out of the prison, that was very heavy. That was a metaphysical thing right there. That was some.
How does these dumbass niggas getting out of prison? How does that equate? That's the type of shit I be talking about, like victim mentality, like there's some type of enslaved, oppressed people. How the fuck does the fact that these niggas broke out of prison? What are they doing there first? What are they there for? Are they there for beating down other black folks, oppressing other black folks, inflicting violence amongst other black folks? Why are they incarcerated for? I almost guarantee they in there for drugs, selling drugs to other black folks, violence, inflicting violence amongst other black folks, property crime, property damage, stealing, thefts, something that they don't did, and that's something to celebrate them getting free. Fuck them. You know what I'm saying? They already know what my biggest issue is amongst black folks is black victimhood and black excuses and lacking accountability. Black excusism, as I call it, man. We sit around, we excuse bad, poor behavior left and right just because they're black, just because they identify as a race that we are. So we excuse all their misdeeds. We circle the wagon on degeneracy and negativity and evil. I'm not with it. I'll tell you that right now. I'm not with it. So I don't care what nobody has to say. I don't care what nobody says to me. I do not give a rat's ass. I am not with this shit. Not one bit.
Maroon energy to a certain degree, because prisons and plantations, they're extensions of the same system. Huh? The simultaneous destruction of that slave era plantation and a prison escape. See, that's a symbol of ancestral rejection.
That's apples and oranges, man. That's apples versus oranges, man. I get what he's trying to, like I said, he is a great race baiter, and he's great at manipulating black folks. He's great at pulling the energy from other black folks as far as making you feel you're a victim, making you feel like what everybody in the world owes you. He's great at that. I'm just being real. Like you said, he equating slavery, plantations to these prison escapees. Man, I would guarantee if you look at these guys' charges, they're probably in there for raping a girl or some crazy shit, shooting somebody, hurting somebody that looks just like them. So it's crazy to even to correlate. I get where he's coming from, but that implies that these people are there incarcerated, only because they're black. Like they committed no crime. You're basically implying that they're there because they're black and that's the sole reason why they're there, because they're black and enslaved. That's not true. Them niggas probably the main devils in their fucking town. Let's be real. So does the majority energy protect us amongst black folks that hate black folks, or is that just for white folks? That's what I want to know. Because you go to Africa, black folks fighting each other there. You go, Haiti, all these places, people are fighting like a mug. So Jamaica, America, Africa, go to these continents, black folks fighting black folks left and right. So does the majority energy protect us from ourselves? Because that's, in my opinion, one of the biggest issues that plaguing America and plaguing black folks is black on black violence. We sit here and cry about the past. We sit here and be affected by the past emotionally, but it's laughable.
Of the old system and the new system of bondage. And in many ways, man, these prisons, they replace the plantations. So this is too spiritual to be a coincidence. Look, remember,
That's emotionally dishonest. That's intellectually and emotionally dishonest. You're trying to play on your heartstrings. You can't compare. You can't compare this. That's really disrespectful to people that are enslaved, to former slaves. That's disrespectful to your ancestors to even compare jail, which you got to go through. You got to go to you have to go commit a crime in order to go to jail. Period. Did not you have to have been convicted of committing a crime with evidence that places you there. We know some people are there that not a, I don't feel like it's a large amount. But we know some people are there that didn't commit crimes, probably just due to whatever, like didn't have evidence, but coincidental evidence got them locked up. Who knows? Somebody lying on them, committing perjury. But yeah, man. Give me a second.
Bring in enslaved people from Angola. They had
to compare slavery to the modern prison system is ridiculous. Now, that's ridiculous. Like now, I do agree at times when they had the Jim Crow laws and people were loitering and stuff like that, and they loaded black folks. You talking about back in the Reconstruction era when they first abolished slavery and they were locking black folks up just because they were black. Okay, then that makes sense because they had to have something to do with the black folks that locked them up. Da da da. But now it's not the same. It's not the same times as then. You know what I'm saying? That like people, black folks are in there locked up overwhelmingly because they're committing crime against other blacks. That's it. Like, let's be 100 with it. Let's be intellectually honest. Most black people are in prison, incarcerated right now because they committed crime, either doing drugs, they either sold drugs, or they committed violent crimes and acts against other black people. Period. That's the overwhelming amount of people in jail because of that. Period. So
the Angola plantation, then they have Angola prison. They got Angola prison out there. Yeah. So the prison system basically replaced the plantation system. They keep the plantations there for tourist attractions. They make money off those plantations, and those the enslaved ancestors, they never received justice. I saw speaking of that plantation that burned down, I saw a post by somebody who said they went on a tour there. And what did they say? They had some Sambo as the tour guide, according to this person on Twitter. They said, yeah, we went to that plantation, and first thing they told us, they were like, yeah, slavery happened, and I'm black, and I'm the tour guide, and, ain't no need for us to get mad about it now. So they said this is the tour guide, a black tour guide they had, like Sambo explaining about the slavery. Like, yeah, it happened, but we ain't tripping no more. And this person said they never, ever talked about slavery on the whole tour. That was the only time they mentioned slavery, at the very beginning. And then other than that, they didn't talk about it. So, yeah, there was still injustice going on that plantation even today. That's disrespectful to them ancestors to have some Sambo up there doing that. That's very disrespectful to the legacy of those people who suffered and built that place. Yeah.
What can you do now, though? How does bringing up slavery? How does that affect the tour guide? What can you do about that now? Isn't that the same thing that black folks want to get past? Don't we really? Do we really want to live in a post-racial society, or are we just talking? Cause I feel like a lot of folks just fucking talking. We just talking. Like people like Tariq Nasheed. Well, where's your end game? What's your end goal? Do you not want us to have? Do you want us to have to every day relive and walk through slavery, even though it was hundreds of years ago? Do you want us every day to have to go through that as black folks, free black folks today? You want us to have to be drudged through the past every fucking day? You want us to remind people of the past every fucking day? Like, do you want to live as a victim every fucking day and carry that weight that the ancestors carry, even though we can't? There's no way possible we can carry that type of weight. We didn't experience it. So do you really? That's the type of way you want to live, with a slight and a chip on your shoulder every day, as a victim, crying and complaining about the past? I'm not doing that. Like I said, that's a loser mentality, dude. And I know why he's doing it, because he's getting paid off of it. He's getting paid to, gaslight a bunch of black folks and have them all excited and revved up about race when and make race a huge big old issue for folks, even though that's not a situation. Even though they go to work at a white ass job every fucking day, white ass boss every fucking day, work for a white company every fucking day, making their checks, going to a white bank to cash their checks, using a white man's electronic system and a grid system to heat up and use electricity and water and power and everything, paying white bills to a white system. Nigga, and you want to sit here? Come on, man. Make it make sense, dude. If that's the case, you might want to, like I said, go live off the grid or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you just that hurt as far as what white folks have done to you in the past, shit. Why are you in that system? Why are you a citizen? Why are you integrated into their system and working for them and doing all this shit? If you got all this anger and hostility toward whiteness in your heart, why do you participate? Why don't you go live live like a nomad? Like go out. I don't get that shit. Like to me, like I don't feel the oppression. This is me. I'm being honest. I don't feel the oppression. When I wake up every day, I don't feel the oppression of white supremacy on me daily. I do not. So people like Tarina Sheed, you're intellectually dishonest. You know you are. You're lying to folks. You gaslight folks. You know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? And black folks that's so confused and so lost in the sauce the way you're complicit and you're joining along. That's on you, man. That's on you. When you're not getting toward the life you live and the life you want because you're out here living like a demon, living on demon time, hurting your own people, wishing death and anger and negativity on a whole race of people that don't even care about you at this point. You know what I'm saying? They don't give a fuck because they just trying to live and survive out here in this point. You're not going to be rewarded with that mindset. I don't care what he says, the majority energy, all that. You're not going to be rewarded when you have negative anger in your heart. You're not. And we haven't. Look at the situation we're in. We still complaining about the past. We're still asking them for resources and handouts. We're still crying about situations instead of working together. You know, it makes no sense. It really makes no sense, man. But I'm about to get out of here, man. I'm about to finish up my little bit of work for the day, man. But I just had to get that out there. Give my 2 cents on this situation with the plantation in Louisiana burning to the ground. You know, good riddance to it. I don't really care, but I'm not excited. I'm not jumping for joy because that shit burnt down like a lot of you dumbass niggas are. Y'all here jumping for joy, kumbaya, and louder than, you know what I'm saying, when Obama was goddamn elected. You understand? Y'all here kumbaya and jumping for joy over a symbol of the past being burnt to the ground. Don't do nothing for you. You ain't getting no insurance money. You're not getting no reparations. It's not increasing or in value in your life. It's not blessing you in no type of way other than your feeling a little better about something, like I said, of the past. The imagery of it makes you feel, it gives you some type of rallying cry or racial, pride. But to me, it's misguided. If you have racial pride off of this, but off of nothing else in life, that's sad. Like you're misguided and you know what I'm saying? Like you are, man, you're really missing the point. You know what I'm saying? Like you're very remiss as far as the where we've come from. If the only thing you can draw pride from is white pain and white suffering and imagery like this, pulling down statues and old slave plantations burn down. That's the only place where you can get your racial pride and racial sense of, well-being and solidarity. Man, you're living a horrible life. I'm just telling you, like straight up. That's the only place you can feel good about being black is if white goes down. You can't take pride in blackness just off of being black. The only time you take pride in blackness is if we're putting foot to ass to white people. Other than that, you can't take no pride in anything else, and everything else don't matter except for putting foot to ass to white people. Then you're a loser. You know what I'm saying? And you're gonna continue to be a loser forever. So I just want that to be known. If you want to live a blessed, righteous life, you want the ancestors to love you and really protect you, stay away from white folks. Mind your business. Start become more tight with your own kind. Unify. Like you treat white folks just like you treat anybody else. You know what I'm saying? They are not special. Do not look at them like they're just, you know what I'm saying, shit and gold. Because I mean they're just normal, regular people just like us. They're just, they've had more time in the system, and it's the system in which they created. But systems change, times change, population demographics change. That's a part of life. Nations change. Is what it is, man. But hold on to the past is not gonna be a blessing towards you in the future, because that's just facts. You're harping on to negativity. That's actually gonna be a cancer and a negativity that you're dragging along with you throughout your journey. So I've already shed those chains of hatred toward anybody. Like I don't hate anybody. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Nobody. I feel like if anything, I dislike black culture because we have the opportunity to do great things, but we choose not to. We choose to want to worry about white folks. We choose to want to wish bad on white folks when that doesn't do anything for us. You don't get paid off of that. You know what I'm saying? You don't get paid off of that. You don't get blessed off of that. It doesn't progress your life in any way. That's not building your community up. You know what I'm saying? It's not giving you resources. It's not giving you food, shelter, water, a system of independence. It's doing nothing for you at all. So continue on this path and see where it gets you, which is nowhere, and then continue to support people like Tariq Nasheed, who only encourages you to feel victimized and to hate white folks when, as I said, when you go throughout your day, most of you don't even see white folks, depending on where you live. Let's be real. If you're living in the hood somewhere in Philadelphia, one of these big cities, Charlotte, most of you don't even see white folks, period, unless it's your teachers or motherfucking bus drivers or some shit, somebody you seeing on the go in traffic. You don't even deal with them. You know, they don't deal with you. Let's be real. They don't give a fuck about you. They would just want you to leave them alone. Have the same energy. Have that same energy where you're not concerned with them. Because being concerned with them is, in my opinion, giving them power. So, and me personally, I feel like they are equals. You know, we're all human beings. They are equals. We're not better than them. They're definitely not better than us. Point blank, period. So, but when you pedestalize them, when you sit around kumbayaing and celebrating when situations like this occur, all these racial situations that's occurring throughout America recently with the Austin Metcalf, the guy in Cincinnati, Ohio, ran down the police officer, random cop, situations like this, when you show this animus and hatred and celebration over white pain, it only shows that you're a loser and you're losing in your community. This is how you feel pride and happiness about your life, and when it should be something personally in your life that brings pride, not the fact that, you know what I'm saying. But most people, unfortunately, don't have no pride in themselves because they haven't built it up. Because we're so focused on outside, we're not focused on the inside. We're so focused on other communities and what they're doing and how they're not doing for us and how they're disrespecting us and just looking to be slighted, as opposed to worried about what can I do to build myself up. But like I said, man, I'm out here, man, and I appreciate y'all tuning in to TNP. TNP, man, keep on showing love, keep on progressing, man. I appreciate the love. Yeah, man, I'm about to be out of here, man. I appreciate it. And that's the live, man.